Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masati here with Masati on Sunday, where we go into not the not the uh, not the cause of the effects, but the down core level on why things happen the way they do. Again, not the effect, but the cause. A lot of beautiful people here, people from Brazil, the UK, gosh, everywhere. El Salvador, yeah, El Salvador. So thanks for coming in, Florida. Guys, it's a beautiful network that we've got going today. This session on Masadi on Sunday is an impact session, not an impact session, sorry, a life explained session. Sorry about that. It's life explained where we go into the deeper details. As you can remember, it is Man Month, so we're going to talk about all things related to men on this today. We have why most men die inside before they die physically, and we've got a special guest on, and I'll introduce him in just a minute. But a lot of things happening today in the world, and you can see it. And we predicted this a while back, right? Major reconstruction of everything, whether it's at a political level, the Earth level, the universe is changing, shifting. Other planets are shifting. Actually, their weather patterns are shifting as well. It is not just a human, say, condition or a human issue that we're going through. The universe is shifting and transforming. So it's not the deep state. It's not, Trump, or it's not Putin, or, the Chinese, or anything like that, right? It's not about the war in Iran, any of those things. Although, unfortunately, people go, oh, we need to control this because that's what humans do. And then let's just start a war. Let's cause issues. People do that at a political level, world's scale level. And then you might actually do that at home. Or since you're XIQ, you might not, but other people around you, your spouse, your parents, your kids, whoever might do that. So again, comment in on if that's what's happening, right? People are feeling unstable in their reality. And what do? They have to cause drama. They have to distort. So if that's what's happening to you, comment in. We'll talk about why, again, the deeper layers on why that is happening. And then also, we'll talk about why, well, most men die inside before they die physically. Now, most men do, they don't, most men might think that they don't fear death. But again, if you talk to men, they say, damn, I don't fear death. But they fear waking up one day and realizing, well, they've been dead inside for years. I have a lot of clients like that. They're super successful. They've got everything that they want. They got everything that they thought they needed, but they wake up one day, or they just don't go to sleep. Right? They just have a hard time going to sleep. They wake up and they go, God, did I sacrifice too much for my success? And they wake up again thinking that they've been dead inside for years, not just burned out. This isn't about just being burned out. You need a break. This is not being about just tired. I'm talking about a slow, silent spiritual decay, where you keep showing up, but the real you literally left your body, left the building a long, long time ago. So today we're going to be talking about that, why men are dying physically, why they're dying energetically and spiritually. And the biggest key, how to come back to it, how to come back to life before it's way too late. And right after this, we always do the frequency scans, and we'll get into the details. So whether you're a guy or a woman, I'll scan you and go to the direct point on why your life, or why you might feel like you're dying, although you might have everything around you. Right? My guest today is a good friend of mine, or he's become a good friend of mine. He was once a client, now he's a great friend of mine, is Johann Ilgenfritz. He's the founder of UK Health Radio, an author of Reversing Cancer. You caused it, you can reverse it. So this man faced cancer just flat out. And rather than hand his body over to, well, a system, he took radical responsibility. He flipped the script, and he did it using a principle we talk about all the time here in XI. Johann, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon or good morning, Masati. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. This is where, I think Johann, you listen to what your body was trying to communicate with you. Again, the body doesn't betray you. It doesn't go, well, why did God do this to me? Why did God give me cancer? Again, the body doesn't betray you. It communicates with you. Cancer wasn't his punishment. It was Johann's wake-up call.
Yes, absolutely. It really was a wake-up call for me.
So, Johann, tell us about your story.
Um, Masati, well, yeah, it started quite a while ago, actually, about in 2011.
Mhm.
I was diagnosed the first time with cancer. I stumbled into conventional cancer treatments, doing radiotherapy, 2 sets of radiotherapy. Uh, but the whole time during this therapy and that I couldn't lose the feeling inside of somehow not being part of this process that was happening to me.
Right.
It literally, I had one duty, and that was to be there for the treatment, and that was all. Nobody told me, to exercise or not to what to eat or not to what not to eat, etc.
Right.
But I think the worst of the whole scenario was I didn't ask either, So, but as I said, this feeling stayed with me. I got the cancer clear, and during my first post-cancer
Mhm.
screenings, again, this was about 4 months after that, beginning of 2012, I was told that the cancer had returned, had spread literally everywhere,
Wow.
and that they just couldn't do anything. It's stage 4, the whole issue. They gave me a 12 months to live, a
Mhm.
diagnosis of 12 months. But the reason why I split them into the first diagnosis and the second diagnosis is during that time, those 4 months, somehow something in me had changed,
Yes.
because with the first diagnosis, I was totally at sea. It was a huge shock and all this, as you can imagine. But the second diagnosis was totally different. I remember sitting in my oncologist's office, and she's saying to me, "Okay, this is what happened. 12 months, etc." And I heard my own voice in the back of my head screaming at me. It's like, "You're not going to die." Well, you are sooner or later, but not from cancer, and definitely not now. So there was already an internal shift
Mhm.
that had taken place. And as I know now, I just wanted to mention this very quickly. The diagnosis, I just want people to realize that diagnosis is only a prognosis. It's someone's opinion. That's all it is. It's not chiseled into stone. It's nothing but an opinion from somebody. They
Right.
might be professionals, doesn't matter. It's still only an opinion.
Well, most experts are usually wrong from what
Yeah.
we've seen. So
Yeah. Well, in my case, definitely. I mean, they gave me 12 months. It's been almost 14 years now, and I'm still here.
there you
So,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. So what gave you the signal? You woke up, literally, your higher self is basically shaking you, go, hey, listen. So what gave you the signal to go on this alkaline diet?
Well, I based that same day that I got the diagnosis. I went home. I did tell Rafaela, my wife, that the cancer was back. I didn't tell her of the terminal diagnosis, because for me it was just, if I would have voiced it, I would have made it real. It would have become part of my life, and I wasn't prepared to do that at that stage. I wasn't prepared to give it the oxygen, the attention, whatever you want to call it. So
Reference, as we call it in that.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I went home, and I had no idea about lifestyle, medicine changes, etc. Nothing. I just went home. I thought, okay, well, now you start. There where everybody tells you not to go, the internet. That's where I went, and I started researching. And it took me quite a while, I have to admit. It took me about 7 months of my allotted 12. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. You mentioned earlier that people don't sleep.
Yeah.
I was one of those people at that stage, wasn't sleeping at all. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. I read one little sentence that said cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated alkaline cellular environment. And that was written by a doctor, Otto Warburg. He's a biochemist. He actually won a Nobel Prize for this discovery in 1931. And to me, that was it. All the lights went on. That was it. I knew it. It was instantaneous. I knew I had found the way. I actually woke Rafaela at 2 o'clock in the morning and I said to her, literally word for word, I found a way not to die. Those were my words, because I just knew it all in all. You know? And I must admit, the scientific part of it played a big part in my life then. And it was cause and effect. I knew if I could change the cause, I could change the effect. There was a mindset, a mind shift, actually. I realized that cancer wasn't the cause of my illness. It was merely a symptom of a sick body, and a symptom you can change.
Yeah.
And that's where the natural law for me just kicked in. Cause and effect. Change the cause, change the effect. And that's basically how I got to it. The very quick explanation, also with the alkalinity, why it's so important. The body has a pH.
Yeah.
2 pHs, actually blood level pH, which you can't do much about. That's regulated by the body. But then on a cellular level, that's a whole different story. And you can control your pH on a cellular level completely. So 7.2 is neutral. Everything above that is alkaline. Everything below that is acidic, which is basically turns to glucose, to sugar, everything acidic in your body, which cancer cells feed from. It's their nourishment. So you take that away, basically you starve the cancer.
Yep.
And it's actually that simple. And that's where, as I said, that's what switched on all the lights in my head.
Tell me about the 4 Qs you talk about in your book. Also, his book has a lot of great recipes in here. It talks about again, it's very, very detailed. It's literally a step-by-step process. If an alkaline diet is gonna help you cure yourself. But the bigger key, obviously, is something happened to him. The frequency deep inside has shifted, which brought them to, say, a physical direction on how to reverse his cancer. So tell me about the 4 Qs that you talk about, Johann.
Yes, very, very important. It's pivotal, actually, that I refer to them as the 4 Qs that need to be looked at, and I think building is the wrong word, but need to be addressed and need to just be worked on. But at the same time, basically, you can't. So the physical, the first one is of course IQ. Now, when I mention IQ, I refer to the science of health, like I've just mentioned, the pH on the cellular level. But then, of course, inflammation, how important it is not to have inflammation. And that's also caused through a very acidic cellular level. So, I mean, here we're talking about illnesses like not only cancer, but diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, immunity health, cancer, of course. So that, that this is really important that you understand that kind of stuff. Fasting, very important. Intermittent fasting. I do intermittent fasting. Have been doing it for years now. Must be about 5 or 6, 7 years, perhaps even.
Exactly.
Very important. Giving the body time to go from digestion to repair. Literally, that's what it does. That's what it needs.
Right.
And of course, the science behind water. Water is pivotal in this. Personally, you'll see in the book as well. Personally, I only drink distilled water, and I know if you Google distilled water and drinking it, They'll tell you you'll die within 3 days if you drink it. You don't. There's a bit of a mineral deficiency that occurs when you distill water, but that you can put back in with Himalayan salt. Literally, how easy. And that's no, and of course supplementation and that I can't get into everything. I don't want to either, but what
Yeah.
you really need.
Yeah.
So and then the second cue for me is the emotional intelligence. Very, very, very important. And here, evaluation is pivotal. Literally, you've got to evaluate your life, your physical life, your mental health, your everything about it. You have to evaluate it. I realized that, and it's now been proven as well. When I realized this, when I started on this journey, there was no scientific evidence yet, but it's now been proven that stress acidifies your body. And in my case, it's time pressure. So I changed my whole day. I get up really early in the morning to give me time to do my work, to do my meditations, to do my running, etc., without being under constant time pressure. I used to be a fashion photographer before all this happened, and there you only live under the gun. You are always under time pressure, and that's pivotal of it as well. And how to deal with them, of course. Meditation, breath work. You've got to grow with all this stuff. You've got to incorporate it and embrace it and grow with it. That was
the SQ, and the PQ.
The SQ is more the spiritual one.
Okay.
Yeah. I know people look at me funny, but for me, it was a deeper sense of purpose, of just it has to be a purpose behind it, all this. And I've heard you say this before, Mas, on previous Masati on Sundays. You don't have to save 5,000 children. It can be a purpose for doing pottery, for example. That's how it has to be but it has to be it has to, if you don't go within, you will go without. I never quite understood that. I've known that saying for many years, but I didn't quite understand it until this journey.
And PQ, as we to the end.
PQ is the physical. That's the part I enjoy the most. That's my running, but it is so important. It's just, for example, one of the things is the lymphatic system. It's the body's only detox system that doesn't have a pump, its own pump. It only detoxes, it only pumps when you are physically active, when you are running, doing sport, doing yoga, whatever it is which you prefer. And those are the 4 cues I refer to in the book that play a very big role in all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you so much. Any closing thoughts?
Yes, just I wrote this book to help to help people, support people overall well-being and vitality. It's not about how long you live. It's of course how long you live, but how you live, healthy, etc. And that is what it's all about.
Wonderful. Thanks, Johann. And the team will put a link, I believe, on how you can get this book. And hopefully, he's got UK Health Radio. We could put a link on that. A lot of great topics. I think I might be doing some interviews or whatever on that. Yeah. So again, UK Health Radio, his book, Reversing Cancer. You caused it, you can reverse it. Great job, Johann. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you, Masati. Take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. So, Johann, he spoke about a lot of points that we talk about, and you don't have to get to the point of having cancer to reverse things, right? Most people, though, unfortunately, they wait until their body is screaming to realize their energy's been whispering the whole time, right? Their body's been screaming, their frequency's been telling them, but we just don't listen. So Johann was talking about the Qs, right? The EQ, IQ, SQ. Basically, a culmination of that is an XIQ, right? What is your exponential intelligence level? Once you raise that, a lot of things happen to you. A lot of fantastic opportunities. That deeper connection. That's what we teach. That's what we actually taught in the 10 days. Who did the 10 days? What is it? XI code, XI XI code to source. Who did that? And comment on the transformations that you guys have had. You can still listen to it on the recording, by the way. Right. So with Johann, you think illness is physical, right? With Johann and everybody else, the medical community, but we see it time and time again. We see it time and time again that it's really not physical. It's the frequency behind. Chadwick Boseman, right? The guy playing Black Panther, right? Did you guys see that film, Black Panther? Holy crap! That guy was amazing, right? He filmed that. He filmed Black Panther while battling cancer silently. And if you look at the guy, fuck, he looked like a superhero, man. Unbelievable body, but he was suffering deep inside. Nobody knew it, right? Nobody knew it because men are trained just like even like Johann. Well, I didn't want to disturb the wife. I didn't want to make her frantic, right? So we bury it. We keep it, hide it. Oh, and it actually that just like sugar nurtures the disease, in this case, cancer for him. And that's the distortion of our culture that we have. If a man looks strong, and that's what we're trying to do, right? If we look strong, then we assume that he is. If he looks wealthy, he is. We assume that he is. But the frequency doesn't lie. Frequency doesn't lie. Look at the Navy SEALs. Look at the Navy SEALs. A lot of young men, they go through the process, but they are, well, some of the most physically resilient men on the planet. But post service, sky high rates of depression, PTSD, divorce, suicide. For somebody that fit, that perfect, that precise, as the Army, trains them, what happens? Why are so many men coming out of the service? It's not just the Navy SEALs, it's the Green Beret. It's a lot of military. It's a lot of CEOs who are literally transitioning into a lot of suicidal tendencies, a lot of PTSD, a lot of doctors, for example, highly successful, right? You've heard the saying, right? Especially in our culture, right? The Middle Eastern cultures, honey, they tell the women, honey, just go marry a doctor. You're fine, right? How many cultures are like that? Doctors have the highest rate of suicide. So why does success equal like suicide, PTSD, divorce? Why does that happen? It's because these men are dying deep inside. Again, they didn't die in battle, the Navy SEALs. They died after the mission ended. Because um, because because their performance without purpose, they're built to go, but now they don't have a purpose, right? And without having a purpose, they collapse inside and their system collapses. The same thing happened to, gosh, I can name so many, but the same thing happened to Steve Jobs. He's brilliant, he's a visionary, but still, he couldn't outthink the cancer. Why? Well, because no amount of innovative fixes, a misaligned frequency field can fix, right? It doesn't matter if your frequency field, if your core level of who you are at a core level not fixed, no amount of, again, innovation, medical systems, anything like that will help you. Look at the medical system. Medical system is great at fighting systems, but it literally is blind to the frequency behind it, right? The signal that you're sending out, right? Part two on this, why men die internally. Alex, show that picture, would you, of me, right? So they don't die physically, but they die spiritually. Okay. So let's get to the real death. I'm sorry. Say that again, buddy. Oh, that's great. Thanks, man. That's me, guys. That was me before I really got into XI. It was with another relationship. That was me before Faye came around. Kind of crazy, right? Before and after. And now this is, and that's, I think 12 years. I think it's a 12-year difference. I'll have Faye come on board a little bit later on, talking about XI women again, because you need a solid XI woman to strengthen the man. But look at the difference. I was dead inside, guys. You could see the death inside me. Right? I was following the same traditions, right? Uh, 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 Bad relationships, following down the family value structure on aging, everything, right? Society's patterns on aging. You're at a certain age, you get a certain disease, right? You need certain medication. This is what happens well, we've been trained to go through the process. So it doesn't have to be like that. Look at the difference on what what the frequencies can do. Look at the Johann's still around 14 years later. Johann's still around. Okay. All right. So again, now, so let's talk about real death, the one that most men never name, right? You're alive, but your soul, like me, disconnected, dumb, just dumbed down, numb, dying in slow motion. That was me. I had beautiful kids, great business, but again, dying inside, right? We had the cars, I had the job, the cars, the yacht, even, we had the family, but how many of you out there, how many men out there, or how many spouses of men out there, you look at your partner and go, damn, feel like a ghost in your own life, right? They're a ghost inside. They're dead. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Okay. Well, that's the spiritual death that we really don't talk about. And we need to. Look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he's building a space program, and well, super intelligent, but he can't hold a consistent relationship. He's got, emotional volatility, the outbursts online. He's got nervous system on overdrive. You can tell when he's on interviews, how he speaks. Not because he's broken, highly intelligent guy. It's because his high IQ doesn't equal high XIQ. That's the key. He needs a session with me. So if you know him, I'll give him a free session, right? But that's where the spiritual collapse happens, right? Look at all the successful individuals. Now, Trump, he's a little bit different. He actually went through a couple near deaths, which I think was actually a blessing for him. Okay. Although it could have been, is probably for some other reason, but it's actually turned into a blessing. He really awakened really, really, really fast, which is nice. He's still got a ways to go, but he's on that track. Again, those kind of things awaken you. Look at Andrew Tate. I've talked about Andrew Tate. Again, the reason why I keep talking about him, because there are so many young men that go after this type of masculinity, and it's the wrong path. So he's the poster boy for dominance, right? Flexes masculinity, well, like an action figure. But it's not the frequency; it's the facade. He's deeply hurt inside. He never cleared up his father issues, and then what young men, they follow that because they've got no other place to go. XI, you can go here. Again, this is where you get solid masculine advice. Men follow that model because they're starving. They're starving for an example of power that isn't hollow. And again, at the surface level, it looks really solid, right? He's got the women, he's got the cars, he's got the house, he's got the followers, all that. But you go deeper into it, and then what do you find? You get nothing but trauma loops. Basically, Andrew Tate literally trauma loops with a Bugatti. Literally, that's all it is, right? How many of you know a lot of famous Hollywood individuals are just that? They show off the glitter. A lot of Instagram models, right? They show off the glitter, show off their beauty, but on the inside, they're very, very hollow. Again, trauma loops keep looping over and over and over again. Most of us has had fathers or grandfathers who never spoke about their pain, right? They were just silent. They were stoic, because that's what being stoic is about. The Daily Stoic, they talk about just being stoic, sucking it in. By the way, I'll be doing a daily call for individuals on how to do stoicism properly. Okay, but we just provide. We're just us are silent. How many? By the way, how many of you had military men come home and they can't talk about their experiences? Right? They just get buried. They can't talk about it, because if they did, they'll just fall apart. Right? Again, they're silent. They provide, but energetically, spiritually, they're gone. They're incomplete. Something died inside. And what do? And we inherit that silence. It's just pure science. It's pure genetic. We inherit that silence. We promote that silence, right? Big boys don't cry. Famous song out there, right? Big boys don't cry, right? We build success around it. We call it manhood, but that's not manhood. It was just a survival mode, literally in a nice suit, in a nice house. So here's the turning point. This is where we can reverse, just like Johann. Anything can be reversible. I'm not claiming to cure cancers or anything like that. But and then again, comment in those individuals who've had, say, um, severe symptoms, severe illness, cancers, and so on, and you've reversed it. Right. So XI is getting more and more into that. Again, it's for research. We don't claim anything, but we've made great inroads, and we're making great inroads on people with like FSHD, which is a form of dystrophy. A lot of ADD, ADHD will be rolling out programs for that. So keep a lookout for that. So, but the bigger key is that, and this is the good news, you don't need to wait for a diagnosis. If you're listening to this show, you're probably here. You've probably heard that call. You probably pulled you into this, and that's why you're here. Some of you who are new, it's like, I don't know why I'm here, but it feels like I should be, right? Comment in if you're that person. It's like, I feels like I should be. Again, you don't need to break down to wake up. Right? You just need literally a resonance correction, a frequency correction. So I'm going to give you 3 things you can do right now to increase your XIQ and wake up, start living. Okay. 1, run a frequency audit. Okay? Ask yourself honestly, and write this down. Ask yourself honestly, where are my choices coming from? Are they coming from trauma, ego, or truth? Write it down. Where are my choices coming from? Just write those 3 words down. Trauma, ego, truth. No matter what you're doing, go, hey, just look at your phone. Make it a screensaver. Look at your phones like trauma, ego, truth. What am I doing that for? Okay? No matter what it is. Okay? You'd be shocked on how many men build entire lives trying to escape their unresolved pain. The Navy SEALs, the people who go into the military, right? They want to get stronger and stronger to, again, bury the pain deep inside. And they go out, they come out of the service, and it's like, fuck, it didn't heal me. Hence, they come back broken, right? So audit your origin point, because awareness rewires everything. Okay? Again, number 1, trauma, ego, or truth. Okay? 2, you start to break the hyper masculine loop. So what that means is just 1 moment a day, just be, no productivity, no performance, and no stimulation, nothing. Stillness, just be. Stillness without action. Stillness is how the nervous system recalibrates itself. Spatial referencing, as I call it. Okay. At first, it's going to be really uncomfortable. It's going to be really uncomfortable because you're detoxing the distortions that's causing you. But once you get into it, this is another thing. You can look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. It's probably one of the scariest things people can do. No matter how strong you are on the outside, no matter how successful you are on the inside, outside, look in the mirror, look straight in your eyes and see what happens, right? That my friend, is what you're projecting out into the world. You can't hide that with a Bugatti, a nice suit, arm candy. You can't hide that. Look into your eyes. That's what people are seeing. That's what XI is about. Real men, when you look into their eyes, they have that clarity. They have that sense of purpose that every woman and everybody follows, that wants to follow. So third one is speak one's truth. Speak one truth that you've buried deep inside. Okay. Just bring it out. You can, I don't feel anything. I'm tired of pretending. I'm okay. A lot of guys, this is why they have like hypersex. They get addicted to sex, right? They get addicted to porn because they just don't feel anything. They just don't feel anything. And it's like, damn, I got to feel something. So they go towards the ill opportunities to feel that something. Another question might be, I'm tired of pretending I'm okay. I don't want to bury it anymore, right? I want to cry. Again, do it. Just cry. I don't know who I am when I'm not winning. I hear that a lot with a lot of athletes that I work with, right? They're superstars on the field, famous names, but then at home, they can't be a husband. They're still that football player at home. They're still the football player with their kids, with their wife, with their friends, because they don't know who else to be. Their idea of who they are is the success. How many of you know men like that, or are men like that? Right? Just say it to yourself. So say those things. Say one key truth to yourself, especially to yourself, to a friend, to God. When your inner voice and outer voice align, your frequency finally gets the clear signal. There's that connection. It's like, yeah, I'm tracking with you. And this is where your higher self comes in. And that's where this is where the only true healing comes through. This is what Jesus said, by the way, right? There's only one path to clarity, right? There's only one path to healing. Follow his direction, not the religious Jesus, by the way, but basically follow that connection back to your higher version, right? So one, you don't need more motivation. You don't need another hustle hack. You don't need another million. You don't need to conquer something else, someone else. You just need resonance. You just need coherence. You need remembrance. You need a clear signal, because most men didn't lose their power. They forgot how to tune into it initially. But don't wait for death to give you permission to start living. Right? Start now, start here, start with adjusting your frequency, and then you come back to life before it's way too late. Right? All right, guys. I'm going to bring on Faye for a couple minutes, and then we'll get on to scanning you and seeing where you died back in the day and how to resurrect you. All right. Hey, Faye. How you doing, sweetie? You're muted. Huh?
Okay, is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Hey. Hi, 1 second. My video.
While she's doing that, guys, we've got a lot of things coming up. One, letting shit go. Number two is it's actually kind of crazy, but I think it was one of the most highest rated hyper meditations that we did. Letting shit go, just letting it, and we're resurrecting it, we're bringing it, it's more powerful. So that's coming up. I think if they sign up, they get both the first version and the second version, I believe, right, Fefe? Mm-hmm. And this isn't about healing yourself. This is about peak performance. Okay, this is about activating your higher self, because what most people do is they want more power, more whatever, and what they do is literally it's not about more power, it's about letting go of the drag behind you. So that's letting shit go. The XI women intro, I don't know where Faye went, but the XI women intro coming up for you, and then also reflection sessions coming up for you. Next couple of weeks, we made some more openings because there's been a lot of demand. So if you're interested in a reflection session where we go deeper on your issues and then how to release them, that's available for you as well. Pepe, where did you go, hon?
Huh? Can you see me?
No, you shut your video down.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so strange. Is it good?
Nah, that's good now. You
Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, mine is I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, yeah, just let me know if I disappear again. But hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm here because we had two XI women talk, and the second one, we were supposed to talk about the XI women effect on men, but we were having so much fun and got distracted. So I'll just take a little bit of time and deliver the content that I promised last time. And MOS, don't distract me. So
I'm just listening to you.
But first of all, it was so nice to see Johann. Johann and his wife, I think they are an XI couple before they understand the XI concept. And it's such a pleasure to know another couple that genuinely love each other. And it's very rare to see.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah, it's so nice. Just adore them. Well, anyway, it's really wonderful to see outside couple because in most marriage or you see most men and women relationship, lots of women are unhealed. So when women carry unhealed generational trauma, they affect men in their lives in some of the most painful and complex ways. And the ripple effects go way further than their own relationships. And there is a phrase saying hurt people, so wounded women waken men. And in XI world, if XI women are healed, then conscious women awaken men. So I don't know if you remember in high school biology class, we learned that when mother's pregnant, the chromosome is always start with XX. That means everybody is a girl before you turn into XY, before you turn into a boy. So what does that mean to you spiritually, genetically? Meaning when you're XX, when you have feminine chromosome, you actually inherit and carry all of the feminine distortions as well as feminine brilliance inside of you. But in this world, in this reality, distortions seem to come to the surface more often. So when you go into XI women, when XI women are working on themselves and MOS working with his XI frequency, XI women will clear out all the distortions in women, and for men, you will clear out all the feminine contaminations for the men. So the work is we work together, and lots of time wounded mothers would take revenge on their sons knowingly or unknowingly. And they operate on hate and fear because, of course, for lineage generations trauma, they feel safer when the men around them cannot dominate them or control them, but just when in a very distorted ways. So a mother can either nurture or destroy her son, and a wife can either make or break her husband. And I think XI Women is here to break that generational pattern. And from this point on, we will heal and expand instead of those cycling of the generational trauma. Beautiful. So another thing is when women get stronger, men always ask, what do women want? Women want masculine containment. And masculine containment doesn't mean this is something I learned since I met MOS, since I started doing XI work. Before I didn't have the vocabulary, before I didn't have the understanding. But MOS taught me masculine containment. I had a first taste of it. It's just the most wonderful thing. It is not about dominance. It's not about control. It's about a man who can hold a steady, strong, stable grounded, present energy to hold space for feminine's full expression emotionally, spiritually, energetically, and sometimes a bit chaotic. So, and the men would not be afraid, they will not run away, will not become avoidant, and will not become controlling. So that is the masculine containment. But most men, they don't understand this. They become accommodating, they become avoidant, they become controlling, and that is unhealthy containment. So when men come into outside women's space, they will learn what is actually what will work and what will actually bring in more dysfunction and distortion.
Yeah, I think it's great for couples as well, because it's just amazing what say if you're a man, you'll see what the woman or your partner really needs on that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not just about couples, if you're a single guy, there could be reasons why you're single, right? So helping you attract the right female would this would be part of that XI woman. I think we'll probably do an XI man, but that comes down the line. What Faye was talking about, masculine containment, actually Jordan Peterson, Alex, he showed me this quote on Jordan Peterson where somebody asked him about, will you be able to kill? And, and Jordan Peterson goes, yeah, and that's really the key is like, well, a man has an opportunity to kill and has that propensity to kill, but containment is like, he won't. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that power to do that, but you won't because again, that's that reserved power that comes in and actually nurtures. If you do it the wrong way, you get abused, you get abusive, you get abused, you get alcoholic and all that stuff, the wrong containment. But if you contain it and process it through, like the way we do here in XI, that power starts to nurture the female, and that female feels so contained. It always reminds me of the Titanic movie where DiCaprio is holding the woman as she's out on the front and she's out there being free. Basically, that's that masculine containment where you can hold the woman and she can explore different realms, different possibilities for not just her but for the person deep inside.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
So I think that's sum it up pretty much.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I was thinking too. We can do men's forum once in a while, maybe once every few months, but once every 2 months. Yeah, and XL Women, the official program doesn't start until later on this year in October or November. But before that, there is a prerequisite. It's called the XI Women Foundation, but it's not gender-based. XI Foundation, it actually gives you everything I wish someone could have given me when I first started. And it's called foundation, but it's teaching you or showing you something in a very, very, very high perspective. So it gives you a bird's eye view of this journey. It's a map, it's a cheat sheet, it's a compass. I think it's very important for men and women. It's not gender-based to understand and have that knowledge. I have that roadmap and awareness before you go into any type of work.
Sounds good, baby. Very nice job.
Thank you.
I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks, sweetie. Alrighty, let's move on to the scans. Again, if I scan anything medical, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to cure you or anything like that. I'm just giving you my perspective on it. You can take it any way that you need. All right, this is from Gold Yellow. Hi, Masati. Would appreciate a scan. Please re self-worth. Thank you. Yes. So with you, Gold, you're actually in a good place through the work that you've done with XI. Take a breath in, and as I scan one individual, those people who are of similar patterns, scanning you as well. So if it resonates with you, do the process that I'm asking Gold Yellow to go through, and I'll be working on you as well. So it's not just say a singular scan; it's an overall scan. Okay. All right. So again, what you are coming through, and this is what a lot of people faced, during the last, the 10 days, access to source code XI, access to source code, is that you start to see the patterns that you're leaving behind. So you are seeing how valueless you were compared to your value. Basically, gold was basically based on your father and your mother. Right? They had no value, especially your mom had no value in herself. So, and this is what Faye was talking about, right? That distortion of her basically she's basically, let's say, envious of you, and it's like, gosh, you know what, gold has everything, my daughter has everything, it'll make me feel less of a woman, so I'm going to hold her back. And this is what you're facing, or that's what you were facing, gold. So congratulations, you are now, say, on the other side, and this is where you have separated your identity from all that, and you're seeing, say, how distorted that frequency was, that how distorted that your signal was. Okay, so whenever you do that, okay, whether it's in this situation, or you break away from something and you go, Moss, I feel lost. It's like, well, you've always been lost, but now you can actually clarify it, you can define it, you can name it, right? Because again, it's outside of you, not internally. So it's a great step for you. What I was doing for you, Gold, is just pushing you out a bit. You're going to feel, say, the lack of self-worth, but in a very, very short time, what'll happen is that you'll go, hey, you know what? I can fend for myself. I can support myself. And this is where that, say, accelerated XIQ comes in. And this is where you feel strong. This is where self-worth comes in for you. And this is where physical abundance comes in and attracts, because again, your level of worth is expanded. You have to, say, create that in physical manifestation as well. Okay, so looking forward to XI Woman. Again, it starts later in the year, but before that, there's going to be I think some programs or things that you can do to get you going. Okay, the frequency is very interesting. I'm looking so forward. Let's switch women to real, natural, pure XXI. Absolutely beautiful. I agree. Women want masculine containment. I'm feeling the expansion. Beautiful flowers. Let's see. Again, if you want to scan me, I think this is all face stuff. There's one in here. I think it was T. She goes. I don't need a woman to contain me. Again, well, just to help women like that. Basically, you don't need anything. If you really think of it, and that's the way your pattern is. T. You don't need anything. You'll push away no matter what it is, and over time, what'll happen? Obviously, a woman or nor a man, they don't need the opposite sex. They don't need anybody else around them to make them feel that that's your own pattern, internal pattern, your internal dialogue. Okay, having a strong man, having a strong woman next to you will just enhance who you are at a frequency level. Okay, it'll enhance the signal that you're resonating at. Right. So of course, obviously, you don't need that strong man to feel complete, to feel confident. But if you're a couple, well, there's a reason why you are. All right. Say yes. Hey, Moss, scan me, please. So say yes. Yes. So you take a breath in. Not a doctor or anything like that. I don't know. It seems like you have digestive issues. It's either a couple things. One, you have digestive issues. Two, somebody might have had, say, illnesses in your family from digestive type issues or stomach cancers or something to that effect. Okay, that's affecting you. So I can't tell if it's like your issues, but or somebody else's issues that have, say, come onto you. Okay, a lot of times, say yes for you is literally um, for you. You absorb people's patterns, especially illness patterns, right? And then you try to escape out of yourself. And that's the key. So in this case, let's help you, say, remove that. You might be more aware of it, and this is why you're escaping more. But instead of escaping, let's just hold strong and go, hey, what? Wait a second. It's my body, my frequency, my life. I don't need that stuff. I can help you with that, but I'm not going to take that on. Okay. So that's where you are. So take a breath in. So just take that moment of silence and understand who we are. There we go. This is from Kendra Clifton. I'll ask, can you scan my husband? He is beyond burnt out and he's starting to become ill, like he's 80 years old. Exactly. Right. People are dying left and right. 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. And one could be because, of COVID, where it just accelerates everything. Again, COVID doesn't just accelerate the disease that you might have, heart issues, cancers, diabetes, whatever it might be. It actually accelerates the frequency that you're resonating at. So, so in this case, yes. So if you feel hollow, then you took the jab, you'll probably feel more hollow and more distorted. Okay. And again, as a prediction, you'll see more and more people wondering what the hell to do towards the fall. It's like, I don't know who I am anymore, because they can't contain themselves, because none of their solutions will work just because of this. Right? Just because of this. Again, everything will get magnified for those individuals who are, say, running the old system. Right? It's just simple math. Right? It's not because God is evil, God's trying to show us something. It literally is that, we fucked up our genetics, and now we're starting to see the after effects. It's cause and effect. Okay. Yes, for you, I also see that he never forgave his father. Okay, so that's one thing. So no matter what he does, basically is approval of his father. His father's, I'm sure, long past, and now it's like, shit, I can't be approved. I can't like have him tell me that you're okay. You're okay. So otherwise he's never feels good enough, right? Again, so it's father's approval that he's lacking. And no matter how successful he gets, no matter how much, money, whatever it is, no matter what he does, no matter how many people he saves, however it is, it doesn't really matter. He just needs that approval of that one person. And because of that, he'll feel empty inside. And then his distortions, his father's distortions, wrap up into him. Okay, and that's what's happening for him. Does it have to be that way? No, he can wake up for sure. Okay. This one, Mini G, dear Moss, please scan my boyfriend. He's so sad. His beloved cat and companion of 70 years is ready to transition. Thank you. Actually, it is sad, to lose a pet, but the sadness actually comes because he's really hollow inside. Obviously, he's not. I don't think he's that old, but very, very hollow inside. He has no identity of self. Right? His masculine propensity, which would decrease his testosterone, is low as well. But it's almost like, no offense, he got castrated at about 20. Right? So his cat obviously carrying the burdens of him. So his cat dying is he's basically going, it's like, shit, you know what? My cat dies. Where am I gonna bury my burdens? That's what most people have their pets. That's where most people have their cats. Have you seen the emotional support animals? On airports, I go to airports and you see these emotional supports, like, holy shit. The dogs look so dirty and they look so diseased and so on. It's just a reflection of their owners dumping on them. That's why, humanity has gotten so far off that we need emotional support animals to support us. Again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's how far you've gone, but you have to wake up. So your boyfriend really has to wake up and pick himself up. And just a question to you, Minnie, why are you limiting yourself with a person like that? Okay. Again, I'm not saying to break up or anything like that, but is there something in you that's allowing that, allowing him to perpetuate that pattern? Right? Are you an enabler of that pattern? Right? From what I see in you, Minnie, you are. Right? What you do with XI, you get really strong, you get clean, and then it's like, oh, it's my duty, it's my job, probably from a religious value to go, God, you know what? Now I got to go help other people. And then what you do is like you carry their burdens, and it's like, oh, and then it's like, why do I feel not that great? And then you do more XI, and you get to the level, and then so that pattern of helping people in a distorted way, Minnie, has to go for you. Right? Right. And this is, let's see here. I'll take a couple more scans. This is Michelle Wheatstone. I would love a scan. Something to do with your father or a masculine figure, or your husband feels like your father. It's that kind of deal. Again, what you do, Michelle, is like your father basically tells you to do, say this thing, and you basically go, no, I'm going to do it this way. Or you do it the way he tells you to, because back in the day that you were forced to do it, you couldn't. But then you have another identity that says the opposite. So there's always like two of you, basically. Okay, basically, again, overall your pattern. Take a breath in. Let's just remove that for you, if you can. Yeah. So say your father basically dictates how you should be, right? But then you morph into that to please your father or your family, and then there's another version of you here. Okay, the real version. But the problem is, over time, you need this masculine figure to tell you what to do so you can access your original version. Okay, so the more you want to access your original version, the more this component, this equation has to work out. Again, the more you want to realize yourself, the more somebody masculine has to tell you what to do. Right? God, there was a princess of Saudi or the Dubai, right? Crazy stuff, right? Their parents, her father telling her what to do. She comes to New York, has a gangbang and all that weird shit that happens. It's like so opposite. I'm not saying you're that way, hon, but I'm just saying, those are extreme versions of, again, having somebody to tell you what to do or not to do so you can hide and be yourself. So in this case, what I was helping you with was separating those two. It's like, wait a second, do I need this version of myself? Do I need somebody telling me what to do that I don't like so I can be myself? It's like, I don't need that. So in that case, Michelle, you're going to push that away and go, you know what? I can just reference being who I want to be, right? Because that was a long time ago, by the way, right? Let's see, one more. This one, NK. Hi, Moss, please scan me. What do I need to work on? Yeah, so you have actually, you've done a great job through the XI, where you've dismantled everything. Say like, you went to IKEA, right? And you took everything out of the box. You basically took everything out of your life. Okay, with XI, you've done a great job. And you just like spread it on the floor. So you want to make sure that all the parts of your life or whatever that you're assembling is together. So this is where you are, NK, where it's just like, oh, okay, I'm observing everything. Okay. And then the next phase for you, and so take a breath in, just notice your throat, NK. So the next phase is like, wait a second, I might have duplicate parts here. Oh shit, I'm missing some parts. Oh, I really definitely don't need this burden pattern I don't want to build that into my new version. So this is where you are. You're observing all the pieces of your life, all the programs, ideas, concepts, emotions, logic systems, and so on. And going, shit, you know what? And it's not just the parts. This is where it's really cool for you, NK. It's not just the parts that you're observing. You're actually going, how am I processing the parts? What is my thinking process of putting the parts back together? So, because a lot of people think it's my experience that is going to change my life. If I make money, then it's going to change my life. If I get married, it's going to change my life. It's not. It's the process on how you get into that situation, why you get into that situation. Right? It's the frequency behind it. It's your XIQ. So again, NK, you're doing it really fantastic. You're just pulling everything apart and going, yep. And you're really honest with yourself. A lot of people who get into XI, they go deeper and deeper and deeper. And then all of a sudden it's like, shit, I don't want to see that space. And then they don't get honest with themselves. But that with you, you've broken through that. It's like, damn, I need to see whatever I need to see so I can move forward. So again, I really have to congratulate you. So in this case, what I was helping you with is literally going, okay, let's bring in a new trajectory or a new mental map on how you're going to put yourself together. And then you put yourself together in the proper way, eliminating the diseases, the distortions, all the emotional blocks that you might have had back in the day. Okay, so congratulations. All right, guys, we could do this forever, but we won't. Thanks for being here, guys. Notice what you noticed. Join us next week. It's still going to be June, which is Man Month. We're going to be talking about more masculine issues on how to resolve them. All right. As always, guys, notice what you notice. Notice the details. All right, peace.